got to get in here in the game every day and come in here and swing the bat every day.
That's correct. That's correct.
I have a head meetings every day. It takes 2 of those to get through my day. I talk to that many people every day.
That's
There's a
it.
guy I just got off the phone with. I've been trying to sell my house for 10 years. There's a friend of mine, I've been trying to sell him a house for I don't know how long, but he's going to do it. You're gonna take and swing the bat every day. Swing the bat every day.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to Investor Fuel Podcast. I'm your host, Leo Wehdeking, and today I am joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with, Todd, who's been making serious moves in the real estate industry. Todd, glad to have you here, man. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you've been approaching your real estate business. Let's dive in, man.
Yep.
So
Good deal.
First of all, for people who may not be familiar with your world, can you give us the short version on what's your main focus these days?
My main focus is just help buyers and sellers buy and sell property. Get it all done correctly and represent, whichever side of the fence I happen to be on, either a buyer or seller. I always like to be on the seller side because we're controlling the market. In addition to being that, I'm also an auctioneer. So I became an auctioneer and got that license, and we're able to auction off properties, remove the contingencies, the inspections, and the appraisals when the market comes to that market. Now, when we put together an auction and put up signs and everybody shows up, and then we get to talk fast. We start out, at a 500, down 525, now 550, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So, that's part of what I do, and the market comes to it. It's a different ballgame than a traditional sale.
It
It
is.
removes all that, and it puts the buyer actually pays our commission. The buyer actually pays a 10% buyer's premium. So it's a little different than a normal sale. Because the buyer's paying our commissions. The seller usually has small expenses depending on the size of their property, and that's about all they're responsible for paying for that. And the buyer's agent, if the buyer has an agent, and we ask them to pay that and so forth. But you remove the contingencies, the inspections, and the appraisals, and then everybody comes and we'll see what this thing's going to bring. So, when you got 20 people standing in the front yard and you got the highest bidder standing there and they're going to pay 10%, buyer's premium, we close in 30 days. They leave a deposit and they close in 30 days. It's a good way to buy a property because you didn't give any more than what the last person gave within $1,000 or $500. Kind of a different concept, but you didn't give any more than what the market was willing to give. Anybody else standing there was willing to give. We do auctions online, and we've sold properties here in Tennessee. The buyer may be in New York or someplace like that. So we work on all those sort of things. So it's just a different animal than a normal conventional sale. Because when you conventionally sell a house, put the sign in the yard, and the buyer's in control. The buyer tells you when they're going to close, and they're going to do all these inspections and all this, that, and the other. A lot of times the property's not prepared to do that.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Let's say you got a property that, really somebody inherited, or, they don't really want to do anything to it. A lot of auctions a way to do that. Now, I've got conventional listings right now. I've got those houses with the sign set in the front yard because the house is a primo house. I mean, not everything is an auction. A house with plenty of comps, that's a traditional sale. A house that doesn't have any comps. Somebody built something out in the middle of nowhere, and they've got this weird house with indoor swimming pools, and they spend all this money, and then it has no comps. So the market will come to that particular property in an auction. Also, buyers. I mean, my favorite thing to do is to sell a brand new house, because you got certain builders that we would work with, and I'm going to go out tonight and go show brand new houses to buyers, so forth.
Cool.
So my job every day is to help buyers and sellers, get the best. Would depend on who you hire me for. If you hire me as a buyer, I can be glad to help you I can help you go to an auction. I get paid to bring you to an auction, and I know what the deal is, because I know how the auctioneer's working and so forth. I've stood right there and helped the buyer buy a house, because I know where the market is and this and that and the other. So I represent the buyer at an auction. A little different concept and so forth. We've got to be thinking up out of the box to get through this market and help people. We're all here to achieve the American dream. It's to own and live in your own
Exactly.
house. Houses go up in value. I've been here working on all kinds of projects to help buyers get into houses. There's all kind of programs, first-time home buyer programs. Now, when we talk about affordability, we got to get to affordability. Our 25-year-olds can't buy a house. Now, our average entry level is 37 years old. We've got to be able to get to affordability and somehow, some way, get them into a home, because we're
That's correct.
a shortage of homes really nationwide. In 08, 09, when I started in 06, we weren't building enough houses, and we're still not building enough houses, even though the real estate market kind of goes up and down, this and that and the other. Right now, we've got about an extra 300 or 400 houses right here in Middle Tennessee, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. In Murfreesboro, we've got about an extra 300 or 400 houses. But there's people here to buy houses. That's what the American dream is own and live in your own home and to go up in value. That's how we acquire wealth.
Exactly.
I've been buying houses since I was 22 years old. I'm 57 today, and most of them, I own 3 homes right now, and 2 of them are rental houses. Now, 2 of them are rental houses. I give about $380,000 in 2 houses that sit side by side, and they're worth $700,000 today. And I started 12 years ago, and those are just rental houses. People need to rent houses. You ever read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book? That's a bit written by Gary Keller. You buy an asset and let somebody else pay for it. What you're doing renting, you're just paying for somebody else to have an asset. So
Exactly.
that's
That's correct.
investment, whether it's in single family houses or condos, apartments, those sort of things. I do work with commercial agents that I've got a good working relationship with, that we're sending out, 50 apartment. They have 50 units in a complex, we work on those deals and so forth. So it's not just, showing houses as a realtor is about this much of what we do. Everything else is just about building relationships every day. We've got to build enough relationships to make all those wheels come together. As a realtor,
Exactly.
we got to build relationships, because they've got to know, love, and trust you before they'll buy the biggest asset from you. I've got a lot of happy customers that I've sold a lot of homes to. I've got people I sold them their first house, I sold them their next house, then I sold them investment properties. We go out and look at the properties, and then we sell them an investment property. Then that house goes up, and we sell them another investment property. So
Yeah.
you're
You
just helping
you
people
keep on
build
buying,
wealth.
you keep on buying and selling. That's what
You
you've been
keep on
doing for the last 20 something years. Well, sorry, since you were
not
22.
Since I was 22 years old. I started buying a house when I was 22 years old.
Exactly. All
Now,
right.
I gave 108 for that house and sold it for 155 in 2001. I bought another house for 189,000, and now that house is worth about 750
Wow.
now, because that neighborhood took off, and it's in a middle. I live in Middle Tennessee, so Middle Tennessee is a hotbed of people moving here. People want to move here. They want to move to Tennessee because of the the climate, they want, the quality of life, they want the schools, they want what we have in Tennessee. And that's where I'm from. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee originally, and I moved 100 miles away in 2001.
That's cool. That's
So
cool.
it's a hot band.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Let me ask you something. With everything that you told me, in what markets are you operating? Do you operate in all 50 states or all 50?
No,
No?
I mean, I can do a referral in another state. Um, I've got some buyers out of California that I've ran across, and they're they're looking at properties usually right here in Middle Tennessee somewhere. Usually, some right here in Middle Tennessee is some shape, form, or fashion of a property they're.
All right. All right. All right. Love
I
it.
deal in land, buying the land. I talked to a man this morning who wanted to buy a piece of land. Buying a piece of land has to do with whether it perks or not in Middle Tennessee. Most of Tennessee, the land does have to perk. Get a lot of questions about that. In other words, if it doesn't perk, you can't build anything on it. You got to make sure that how much road frontage has, where's the septic at, where's all the utilities at to build a house on a piece of property. Because I've done that. I probably built 20 houses with 10 different builders over my career. So you got to look out for the buyer in that situation and who's going to build it and where is it going to be and all those sort of things.
All
So
right.
it's
All
a
right.
it's a convoluted process and so forth. So every deal has a challenge, but we always learn something on every deal.
Right. That's good. Uh, Todd, actually, something, that caught my attention about you is the way that you've been able to integrate real estate investing um, with also uh,
Yeah.
your auctioneer
Auctioneering
role.
business. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, with your auctioneer business. Can you be a little bit more specific how being an auctioneer helps you with your real estate business?
Well, being an auctioneer, I've got to be able to go out, and I really want you to talk me into doing an auction. Probably half of all the auctions that I go look at, I probably don't get to take because I've got to have realistic expectations of where I think I can get to. And if we can't have that realistic expectation of where I think we can get to and put money in your pocket, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Having those fierce conversations as to what it is that's going to be, put in your pocket at the end of the day and what your property is really, really worth. A brand new realtor, as a brand new realtor, I'd probably take any listing that would know the man if the sign was hitting the yard, they'd go in there. Today, as 19 years of experience, I have experience as to what it's going to take to get this thing sold. I don't put signs in the yard just for the sake of putting it in the yard. I don't take an auction if I don't think it's going to work because it is no fun at the end of the day. I think I did one of those last year, just one. Um, and now I was on a team of other people and they did other things. That's their business. But come to realistic terms of what it really is worth and you getting your mind wrapped around what it's going to take to get there as an auctioneer because the market will come to it as an auctioneer, as an
All
auction.
right. All right. Now, Todd, let's talk about something different now. I
Okay.
know that every operator has a moment where things got real, okay? Maybe a deal that went sideways or a time they had to pivot real fast. Do you mind sharing one of those moments?
Well, sometimes things don't work out. We put together deals, and I've never had someone to not come to the closing table. They got to get to the closing table of where they're at. So setting very realistic expectations on the front of the deal is, I'd rather spend an hour in the front of the deal working everything out and explain to you how it's going to work. But there's been deals that have been that different things happen. Something happens in the middle of the deal, and I've had deals that the seller moved out of town, or there's going to be there's going to be issues. There's going to be appraisal issues. That probably happens. It happens. You got an appraisal that's short. Well, what do you got to do? I've had coached, my teammates through that. Everybody wants the common goal is to get this thing to close. You got a buyer's agent and a seller's agent. You got, you got a good willing seller and a willing buyer. Somebody's got to come together to get to there. Got an appraiser. Appraisers are human. We're all human. We all make mistakes. Just forgive people and see what you can do to get this deal put together. Get to the closing table and get everybody happy. Because if you call them 5 years from now, they wouldn't know anything about all that. They wouldn't.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, and that's actually the kind of stuff that people don't like to talk enough, Um, they don't like to remember those kind of stuff. And honestly, for me, that is what separates the folks who just dabble from the ones who actually stay in the game long term, like you did, like you're
Yeah.
doing, because you
Yeah.
didn't do it. You are actually doing it. All
Well,
right.
I'm actually doing it. I mean, you got to get in here in the game every day and come in here and swing the bat every day.
That's
I,
correct.
I
That's
have
correct.
I have a head meetings every day. It takes 2 of those to get through my day. I talk to that many people every day.
That's
There's a
it.
guy I just got the phone with. I've been trying to sell my house for 10 years. There's a friend of mine. I've been trying to sell him a house for I don't know how long, but he's going to do it. You got to take and swing the bat every day. Swing the bat every day.
Exactly. Every single day. Every single day. The more you swing, then closer you get to hitting the ball.
The ball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So, and let me ask you something, Todd. What are you looking or what are you most focused on solving or scaling next?
The next thing will be the auction business to be a little bit bigger, more auctions coming along. I haven't had that license that long, but about 18 months. I was running an auction company for 7 years, and I would it was just kind of building my own thing about that piece of the puzzle, so forth. I'm into some other things too, that other opportunities that always come together.
All right. That's cool, man. That's cool. Now, Todd, I know that a lot of people listening are either early in their journey or they're just looking to level up. And I think they will
Mhm.
benefit, from hearing this. Now, about when it comes to building relationships, all right, and growing
Uh-huh.
your network,
Yeah.
what's made the biggest difference for you?
The biggest difference is me staying with them. I've got people that I had a guy call me, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks ago. He said, you don't remember me. And I said, well, I do know your name in my your name is in my telephone because I record everybody's name in my phone. And he said, oh, you sold a house for me 10 years ago. I'm ready to buy a house. So, my database is pretty deep. So, once you buy a house from me, if I want to do business with you, there's a few people that once we close the deal, we close the deal. And then there's other
And
times if we want to do business again, I would encourage us to do business again. And you
yeah,
get a
exactly.
referral. I mean, you get referrals. I mean, you did somebody right. That's the way I've always looked at it. You always did somebody right. You treat them right. You treat them like family. Um,
That's correct. And that's
they
something
call
you
you.
cannot fake. That's something you can't fake.
Oh, no.
When you're
Yeah.
closing a deal with someone, and that person feels like, you know what, Todd is actually treating me, or he has been treating me like I'm part of his family, for all this time. And that's actually not you doing a business or closing a business. That's actually you building a relationship, okay, a long-term relationship with a potential client
Yeah.
because he's already your
Exactly.
client. He's already buying from you.
Yeah.
All right. But in order for you or in order for him to buy from you again, he needs to feel, okay, that you bring something to the table. Okay. And that's one of the things that people like about, okay, like, you know what, I like to do business with Todd, even though that I haven't spoke with him for the last 10 years. I'm going to give him a call. and see what he's up to. Okay. Because I remember that from day one, Todd treated me like
Yeah.
excellent, and it's
Well,
sometimes it's not about closing the sale, but the experience you had when you were closing that sale. Okay. And again, that's something that I wish we could learn that, you know, uh, if
exactly.
they in school. Okay. But that's something that you don't learn in school. That's something that it's within you. That's something that you actually do once you are in love with what you do.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
for me, relationships are everything. Building relationships in any areas, okay, whether if it's real estate, for your personal life, even
Yeah,
with your friends, okay, having good relationships helps
yeah,
with everything. All right.
exactly. Well, it's not the people don't really care how much you know, it's how much you
Is how much you care. Exactly. All right. Todd, before we wrap up, okay, if someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you,
Mhm,
maybe collaborate
mhm,
or learn more about what you're doing, what's the best
exactly.
way for them to reach out to you?
Well, the best way is to call me on my telephone and have a
Okay.
conversation. I
And what is
mean,
your
I'll
phone
give you
number?
my phone number. My phone number is plastered everywhere, but I'll give it to you for sure. And, it's 615-785-3563. And, if I don't answer, just leave a message, I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. And, I'll be glad to talk to anybody about investing or auctioneering or moving to our area or anything that I could do to help them in their investment journey. And I mean, there's other markets for me I mean, I know a lot of people across the country. There's a lot of people in my phone that are in other states that I know if you outlines
Perfect.
all that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, Todd, I really appreciate your time, your story, and also your perspective. Okay. We need more people in this space who are actually doing it the right way. So thanks again for being here on the show. And for those of
Okay.
you tuning in, all right, if you got value from this, just make sure that you're subscribed. Okay. We got more conversations coming with operators just like Todd who are out there building real businesses. All right. So see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.